What's going on today, YouTube? I know we are a week later. Strangely, we were wearing the exact same clothes as we did in the last video. Please, no comments about that. I know we already have one troll in the comments that leaves a comment on every single video. But welcome to the Texas Roadshow Shop YouTube video. This is going to be...
Probably just peeked out.
Huh? Oh. This is going to be our biggest L's video. So we started off on a positive note with our W's. Sorry if you hear Ellie, my Dalmatian, going through the doggy door. But I don't think our L's are as big of L's as our W's, if that makes sense.
One of these is big. A big L, in my opinion. It's the one on the top.
Well, that's mine. So
that's yours. That's not mine, so I don't have to worry about it. So we're going to dive right in. In my opinion, our biggest L of this video is Kesten Hero. Woo!
So I was really big on Kesten Hero. Back in 2019, his rookie year, he came out. He was hitting over 300, I think. He had a home run in like every 20 games or every 25 games or something like that. So I was really high on him. Obviously, now I don't even think he's on the big league roster currently.
I think he is.
For the Brewers, he did get called. Maybe he got called up towards the end.
But at some point in the season, he did get sent down.
For sure was in minors. So I still have some hope for him, but I'm definitely comfortable saying that this is an L. And it's going to take a lot of work for it to get back in the W column.
Which we talked about in our W video. If you see a guy you like, if you're doing your research, buy the bigger card. Don't buy the base.
And that's what I did.
And that's what he did. Unfortunately, still took an L. But, I mean, if you would have bought... you do have some base of him. I can't imagine the... Because I know... Sneak peek of our future card that we're going to talk about in this video, Eloy Jimenez.
Yeah.
His PSA 10s are like $20 now.
Yeah.
And he's been hurt this year, but he's come back and he's playing decent.
Yeah. So I don't think he's in our I don't think he's in our L stack, but his value kind of reminds me of Boba Fett in that he's having a really good season and has played really good, but his value really hasn't done anything. And sometimes you're going to run into that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why on Kesten Hero, I did buy the numbered stuff and the high-grade stuff. But I think on the next few cards, you're definitely going to see why I say stay away from the base stuff.
So we're just going to intro this into, it's not one card in particular, but what we're going to be talking about next, our biggest L's has been on just base tops. Baseball slaps. Whether that's Eloy Jimenez, who unfortunately missed a lot of this year.
Right.
He has come back and has played better, but that's something we can't control. Ronald Acuna is down since we bought. Again, that's something out of our control.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even Boba Fett, who's been playing crazy, even Fernando Tatis, even Juan Soto, we're all down on as far as their base or just their... regular Topps Chrome cards.
Agreed. And that's not saying that you shouldn't ever buy base. If that's what you like and you like base rookies, go after it. We're strictly talking from a long-term investment standpoint. But on the same token is that, like, if you had bought Vlad and Shohei Ohtani base stuff in the offseason, that stuff is up. Now, the reason why I say buy, like, numbered stuff and higher grade, numbered low pop stuff is because... that stuff is up more than the base, right? Or like Ronald Acuna, who towards ACL, we have no control over Acuna tearing his ACL, right? But Acuna's rare stuff, even though it's come down, it hasn't come down as much as his base update, right? Like his Bowman Chrome autos, they're down, but they're not down as much as like his update base top stuff.
Which makes sense.
That card, him not... Like prior to his injury, is probably like $5,000. So it came down from $5,000 to $3,500, but like the percentage play of like where his base was to plummeting down isn't the same. If that makes sense. Like, and you're not going to find as many people selling the harder to find Acuna stuff as you are the base stuff. So like that base stuff is just going to keep coming down because there's not enough buyers to outlast the supply. If that makes sense. So and like in Eloy and Acuna's case. That's simply because they got injured and got hurt. and there aren't as many people buying Eloy now as there were pre-injury. I think next season, barring any injuries in the offseason, his value is going to tick back up.
I mean, Eloy could tick back up in the playoffs.
Right, 100%. But moral of the story is I think that when you protect yourself and you're never going to be able to predict injury, right? Like, no one ever predicted that Acuna was going to tear his ACL. But if you hedge your bets and you like Acuna and you decided to buy Acuna, but you bought the rare, high-grade, low-pop stuff as opposed to the high-pop,
very high pop,
very insanely high-pop base stuff, like you're going to minimize your losses when those unfortunate injuries occur, if that makes sense.
All right, the next card we are going to be talking about is Shaquille O'Neal rookies.
Yes.
Now, we got a PSA 9 Topps Shaq. This is the lowest card highest card as far as percentage loss that we have in our portfolio. So I know what some of you think. Think Shaq is all-time great. Why are his prices down? Why did we lose so much? I think we're down like 70% on this. Granted, it's a PSA 9. It's not that expensive of a card. But it's like, Cody, why is Shaq prices going down?
Yeah, and I think that this is something where, like I touched on in the last video, had me and my buddy, when we were at TriStar and we picked up that Akeem Olajuwon PSA 10 for $650, and that was again in February of 2020, we could have bought every single card, doesn't matter the player or whatever, we could have bought every single card in that show and ended up 6 months later down the road.
Mm-hmm.
However, we got into Shaquille O'Neal, and you'll see the next card, which a little preview is Tim Duncan. We got into those cards where you could have bought LeBron on-card autos and be down on them currently.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the market went up so high so quickly, and now it's starting to normalize, and I think it's starting to correct itself a lot, where in February of 2020, you could have bought any card and made money. And 6, 7, 8 months ago, you could have bought any card and been down on it now just because of how the market turned in that time.
Which that's why so many people got in the hobby, because it was just like, this is just easy
free
money.
Right.
And that's why a lot of people also left.
Right.
Was because they stayed in, they came in the hobby, just bought everything. 4 months later, they're down on everything, and they're like, oh, well, this didn't work out. I think now you have to counter in the market a lot more than you ever had to when investing in cards.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% Chase is right. And also, I think it's good that we have a good balance as to why we lost money. We have Kesten Hero, who we lost money because of on-field play performance. Or lack of on-field play performance. Then we have Acuna and Eloy, who we lost money on because of injury. And then we have Shaquille O'Neal and Tim Duncan, who we lost money on because of bad timing when we bought it. And again, all of this goes into minimizing your losses, right? Like, that's what I want to really get across in this video, is there are ways to minimize your losses. If you instead of us buying as many Acuna update base cards as we did, had we been buying rookie autos or like the numbered Independence Day out of 76.
Like if you combine all of our base Acuna stuff we have and then put that towards one insane Acuna card,
we'd be in a much better spot.
Yes.
Even though we got injured, we'd be down on it, but I think we'd be in a much better position long term. Now, Shaq and Tim Duncan, Chase is kind of like one of the ones that's like, I can't believe we bought this. This was a terrible buy. Why did we do that?
Which I was for it at the time.
No, 100%. But I've been in this long enough to know that buying Tim Duncan and buying Shaq cards are not a bad investment. And while we may be down now, it's kind of what I said in the last video. Like, I don't really care what a Tim Duncan Chrome 9.5 is right now. And I don't care what a Tim Duncan Chrome 9.5 is next year or in 2 years. Now, obviously, if we see another huge market spike, maybe we sell. But, like, as a general rule of thumb in a balanced market, I'm worried about what this card is in 10 to 20 years from now. And 10 to 20 years from now, I don't think a Shaq rookie or a Duncan rookie are going to be in our L columns. We paid more than we should have looking back on it, but we also had no idea that the market was going to start correcting itself. So when it did, we knew it was going to correct itself, but timing that is impossible. So again, it's all about minimizing your losses. Buying rookie Hall of Famers is a way to minimize your losses. Now, if you buy a rookie Hall of Famer and you're down 3 months later, that's a possibility. But if you're buying a rookie Hall of Famer, you shouldn't be expecting a 10x on your investment in 6 months to a year even. So that's kind of the moral of the story. Be sure you minimize your loss. Do what you can to minimize your losses.
Which I will say, going into it, we did our research. We identified that, we wanted to get more away from modern basketball because we have so much of it. And we thought Shaq and Tim Duncan were undervalued for what they are. We think Tim Duncan...
I still think Tim Duncan. Obviously, I'm still on the Tim Duncan train.
We think Tim Duncan is insanely good. We think he's underrated. We think he's easily a top 6, top 7 basketball player of all time.
100% top 10 player.
He's 5.
I think Shaq's the top 10 player of all time.
What people
we'll save that list for another video.
Is that Tim Duncan is 5-1 in the finals. He'd be 6-0 had Ray Allen not bailed out LeBron James and the Miami Heat. I mean, if Tim Duncan goes 6-0, you know who else went 6-0, and it's just insane that Tim Duncan gets no recognition because he has a boring personality. He played for a boring team.
He's not in the pop culture.
He's not in media or anything like that. But I mean, like,
and what I will say too is, I'm buying. Again, this isn't investment advice. Buy whoever you want, but like, I'm still buying Tim Duncan, and that's kind of where it's really hard to force yourself to minimize your losses. Is knowing that you're down 50% probably on this card, 60% on this card, 70% on a Shaq rookie, knowing that you're down that much, but like having the knowledge and being able to say, you know what, I'm down on Shaq rookies, I'm down on Tim Duncan rookies, but I trust my research and I trust that Tim Duncan's a top 10 player of all time. If I believed he was undervalued 6 months ago and now his value's dropped by 60%, I should extremely think that he's undervalued now and buy more. And that eventually is going to bring your average cost down. So then when they start shooting back up, you're able to unload stuff and, again, minimize your losses. That's what investing in cards is minimizing your losses so that you can maximize on your opportunities on your W's. So that's what I would say is trust your gut. Trust your gut instinct. If it's different in trusting in Tim Duncan than Kesten Hero, right? Like, Kesten Hero had a good season. It was his first year in the big leagues, and I had researched his minor leagues, and then the kid just didn't have it. Now, can he bounce back? Absolutely, sure, but I wouldn't be betting on that. Tim Duncan, you know what he is. You know he's 5-1 in the playoffs. You know he's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 10 player of all time. None of that's changing unless we get 3 LeBrons in the next 10 years or whatever.
I'll say this, too, you mentioned it. And this video is a perfect example of investing in the Hall of Famers versus rookies, especially baseball. Some rookies in baseball come out, put up insane numbers, and they just nosedive. Yeah. I mean, Kesten Hero had a pretty good rookie season, and in the 2020, we thought he'd bounce back. But, I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, Cody Bellinger was an MVP, and now he's struggling to earn a starting spot with the Dodgers.
We saw it with the Rangers. Hank Blaylock was an all-star.
Okay. No one watching this video knows who Hank Blaylock is.
Drop a comment if you remember who Hank Blaylock was.
But, I mean, that's also why Trout is so valuable, right? Because,
he does it every season.
Like, not only is he just better than everyone, it is every season consistency. Yeah. Like, Francisco Lindor this year. Christian Yelich last year.
Yeah.
Like,
guys who have won MVPs or been in MVP contention, and all of a sudden,
if you're investing long term, like, I mean, that could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
If you were investing in Dak Prescott last year, and then he broke his ankle, stuff like that happens.
Yeah, and Dak Prescott's like the perfect thing, right? Like, you could have been investing in Dak Prescott, him break his ankle.
But if he would have bought, if he would have kept buying
him, now he's up higher than he has ever been. Like his last NTRPA, I think in 9 went for like $13,000, and it's like that's the highest a 9 has ever sold for. And so it's all just timing and knowing when to get in on things. But you're 100% right. I mean, the safe investment, again, if you do your research and you identify Tim Duncan's undervalued, and then his cards go down even more, trust your gut. Trust your gut. Double down on Tim Duncan. Lower your average cost out so that whenever he does take a peak up, maybe he comes in and gets an NBA coaching job, or maybe he gets a front office job, or something to where
maybe he comes on Monday Night Football and flips off the camera. I assume it wouldn't surprise me if Eli prices went up after that.
I wouldn't be shocked if Eli Manning.
Because I texted you after that. I was like, I want an Eli Manning card now after that. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's our Big L video. Hopefully, y'all are able to take something away from this video as far as investing in sports cards going forward to add to your collection. Do you have anything you want to add?
Nope, I think that's it. I think as a whole, how you minimize your losses the best is to invest in Hall of Famers. And obviously, that's nothing against the modern guys. Buy what you like. That's the important thing.
Which I like modern.
Right. And it's so much fun to it's so much more fun to watch it, right? Like, you're never going to watch Tim Duncan play again, but you're going to watch Acuna play again next season. So be smart on what you're buying. Know that, Hall of Famers, their resume is not changing versus guys like Eloy or Acuna. The younger guys obviously are going to have more upside, more potential. And like I've said, I think the key thing is buying the lowest number possible with the lowest pop, like the highest grade, lowest number. And you're definitely going to minimize your L's the best you can. Obviously, you can't predict when Acuna tears his ACL. So stick to your guns, do your research, and you will be fine. Until then, guys, be sure to subscribe to this channel, ring that bell, follow us over at IG at Texas Roadshow Shop. Be sure to follow us on TikTok now. We are on TikTok with all the cool kids. Texas Roadshow Shop on TikTok. And until then, guys, oh
no.
Can you edit this out? Or?
I don't know. You're on a roll.
And until the next time, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.